Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TTV podcast, episode 314.
I was like, am I supposed to be hearing something? I'm Bar.
I'm LJ.
I'm Ven.
I'm Tenebrae Invictus. I'm Takuma Nuva.
Is that everyone?
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm Haley.
And hello, everybody! I waited intentionally because I like to wait for the music to begin before I start speaking.
I mean, honestly, it's very well timed.
That's fine. I was just wondering what was taking the music so long.
Well, it has a small delay on the audio file.
Haley, is that everyone? Wolf?
Hey, I gotta make sure.
I mean, if you just listen to the name order, you'd be able to keep track. But since you
Yeah.
obviously didn't do that.
Yeah, well, I'm last, so I usually just wait till a pause, and I'm like, yep, that's me.
That only works
And
for
then the other
like,
person
come
does
on,
at the same
Haley.
time.
yeah,
They
not
weren't paying
there are like 4 people in the group who think the same way you do. So if you're on a podcast, that'll get commented.
Whenever someone's
fast.
added to the podcast, that's always how they think. Until they screw everything up consistently.
Yep.
Yeah,
Purple.
there should be like someone should make a TTV bingo, and like one of the boxes should be discuss name order after it's been said.
That'd be great. I'd love TTV
Right next to the
bingo.
boss where the name order is messed up.
Yep.
Like
Right.
a drinking game.
up the name order.
Right next to the box that says Mardi Gras.
That's dead, by the way.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
Mardi Gras
is.
never dead.
It's been a very
Mardi
long
Gras.
time.
Listen, considering the news we have to talk about today,
It's only been a long
relevant.
time because I'm not on the podcast. I haven't been on the podcast ever.
Sam.
So with that said, Mardi Gras!
If Mardi Gras fans as a whole had said no point in saying Mardi Gras anymore, it's never gonna come back. It never would have come back.
You came back.
Totally relevant. I love it, man. Oh boy. So, before we jump, because this is going to be a jam-packed podcast, I warn you guys.
Very bionicle
It's
podcast.
all
Very
about
Bionicle.
Bionicle today, baby.
Before we start, though,
Well,
Everything's coming up
Bionicle
We have a
is
title,
actually
everyone.
still relevant today.
before we start, though, how's everyone's 2 weeks been?
Busy,
Oh.
exhausting.
Dude,
Yep.
nothing really happened.
What year
Nothing
is it?
pretty major.
I did next to nothing.
What year is it? It's been a minute
2014
since...
released BioCraft already.
Well, to be fair, since the release happened earlier this week, I actually have been able to get some sleep. But for a little while there, it had been quite a bit before I had a nice full night's worth of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Congrats.
I went 47 days straight without a full night of sleep.
Dear Lord,
I believe
why?
it.
Crazy.
Why are you like this?
Listen, bro.
I still got my sleep, but the weird thing here, I'm on the flip side. I overslept sometimes, so I would be super tired throughout my day just because of that. And
Nice.
plus, my work has been pressing me to open a lot more often, so I've had to get up way earlier than usual. I'm talking like 4 a.m.
Oh,
Dude,
well,
That's
that's
so-
normal for me.
I'll get up at 4 a.m., go to work, come back home and do BioCraft until I have to go to bed early to get up early. Going to bed early doesn't necessarily mean I fall asleep right away either. I've had nights where I'll just be sitting in bed. I'm just lying there waiting for the sleep demon to come upon me.
Sleep demon?
Sleep a demon.
Sleep is not a demon.
The sleep a demon. Exactly.
Sleep is not a
demon.
demon. You're wrong.
Sleep is
Sleep-
definitely a
Sleep,
demon. Sleep is
the
the
cousin
demon.
of death.
sleep is the worst part of being alive.
See,
It is.
yeah, I agree.
Well, okay.
If I could stay up 24/7 with
Taxes
no
are also pretty
repercussions,
bad.
Nah, see, taxes would be fine if I was able to work more hours.
Fair.
Nice.
Wow.
But, Var, you'd be able to work more hours if you didn't have to sleep.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why sleep is
That's the
stupid.
point.
I want to get rid of sleep entirely.
No.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Sleep is an abomination.
Sleep
Someone
lets
edit-
you figure out the potential of your brain. It's amazing.
Yeah, you pushed that potential.
How do I figure out the potential of
Yeah,
my brain when I'm not
great.
using it?
Cause
That's
Except to
What's
conjure up
really going
those
on?
days where I apparently go to
Dream.
school naked.
Haley, if I ask
homeschool,
you, you know,
homeschool.
if I
Bad
ask you, do you
days
like sleep?
Just from
right
having
after
bad
one of your,
dreams. The
right
night
after one of your
before.
crazy dreams, I bet you wouldn't like it.
There are 5 conversations
I haven't
happening right
seen
now.
many horror films. Once I watch a lot of horror films, I'm gonna hate sleep. But right
I
now,
once had a dream about Meso that has scarred me for life.
I don't need to hear it.
Same
Don't
here.
want to know?
I once had a dream that Meso took over the world. Is basically. All right,
Okay,
it wasn't
but
the
was he
world.
wearing
It was the
pants when he did
BZPC.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I had a dream
Where
where
are
Meso
my
abused me.
pets? Wait, what, Lars?
Hashtag me too.
He
Bar,
told
that
me
wasn't
that
a
he
dream.
wouldn't. He told me he wouldn't talk about Destiny for a change, and then he still did.
That wasn't a dream.
Wow!
are you sure that's a dream?
Hate to break it to you,
You're-
Bar, but they're
you're living
buffing
in
all the
dream.
ARC subclasses except for Way of the Striker.
Shut
whatever
up.
it's called,
Oh my
on Tuesday
God, I
as part of
hate your
ARC
Destiny
Week.
Arc Week is dumb.
ARC Week.
You know what else is dumb about Destiny? Everything.
And duty and unity. Bionicle.
The
Things-
Bionicle,
Okay,
right?
go away.
I'm pretty crazy with
So-
Bionicle.
Aw.
It
The thing with this week's podcast, I'll go ahead and give everyone a rough itinerary, since we do have that this week. We're going to start off with what the fans are quickly dubbing Threonicle, which
Wait.
I'm going to...
My favorite is
what
the message board topic where it's titled 3 on a tentacle.
real fast.
3 wanacle.
Messa, before we jump
Three
into
on
that,
a
there's
tentacle?
one thing we do need to talk about very briefly. It's on the screen.
3 on
Oh
tentacle.
yeah, I'm just giving an itinerary.
Oh, okay.
After that,
Bionic
we're going to talk
tentacle.
about the Bionicle Ignition War stop motion fan project, which I said we were going to do on LJ's show. I just want to spotlight it for a little bit. Then we're going to round off the episode with a nice deep dive into the production schedule of BioCraft. I don't have immediate work today, so this could go on for a while. Before all that, though, LJ, we got big news.
All right, yes, we do in fact have very big news. If you see on screen right now, you'll see a shirt design, and you might be wondering, well, what is that snazzy-looking design? Well, that snazzy-looking design is the BioCraft Chronicles t-shirt that is for sale right now over on the TTV store. The design is by our very own Zeros, who, if you haven't seen BioCraft Chronicles yet, not only should you watch it, because we're all immensely happy with it, and we think it turned out really well, but the end credits are amazing. Zeros legitimately doesn't get enough credit for the outstanding
The credits.
work he does.
Credits.
Replace every name in the credits with zeros.
But
That'd be a
yeah,
good
so the
meme.
shirt design is absolutely fantastic. It's based off the poster, which he had a large part in making as well. And yeah, go check it out. There are a couple other different clothing options. It's like a hoodie, like a sweatshirt, and then a woman's shirt. And then the standard neutral t-shirt. So check it out. That's it from me.
Haley, did you get yours as a shirt or a hoodie?
I got mine as a shirt.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
got mine as
I
a
wanna
woman's
wear-
shirt.
Yeah.
I needed to bring out my curves.
I will not. I will not. All right.
I got a
And by
regular
curves, I
shirt
mean the
'cause it's
roundness of my
comfortable.
tum-tum.
Thank you, man.
Only reason I haven't bought one yet is because I'm waiting to see if my brother wants one too, so we can order them together and save on shipping.
That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
I'm gonna buy one probably today.
It's a temporary time though. You have how many days left?
Like 9.
Till April 15th.
Somebody just asked over in the YouTube live chat, Jambo the Knight, wait, can we buy the poster? Not yet. But hopefully eventually.
It's coming.
Why not, actually?
So I haven't talked to you guys about this, but there
Oh, boy.
are a few different options, and there are a few things to consider when it comes to the printing of those options.
Okay.
So
Okay, because the plan was to put up a poster as well.
yes,
so
yes. And
If you're asking if you can buy it, then that is indeed the plan. If it's not available right now, so
yeah, so there's a good chance that by the time this podcast goes live again, it'll be up. So my best advice would be to keep track of the Twitter account, because that's the most up to date when it comes to these kind of things.
in general too, like if anyone here is listening that isn't following our current Twitter account and is interested in general channel updates or anything like that, our Twitter is definitely the place to go. We're very active on Twitter as opposed to Facebook, which is dead.
Oh, that's right. Facebook is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Never.
thank you.
As we discussed in a previous episode, never use our Facebook.
Pretty much.
Still, please, by all means, follow us on Facebook so you can inflate our follow count and ergo our ego.
Don't
But
do it.
otherwise,
Exactly.
You have no benefit otherwise. So
And also, follow us on Instagram.
we actually do use Instagram.
Yeah.
Subscribe to
Follow,
us on
follow,
Vessel.
follow us on the gram. I'll post those sick updates for you.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're going to kick off today's podcast with some interesting news. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown for anyone who didn't watch my news video, but before we start, I just want to clarify something. Bionicle is not back.
You clickbait son of a gun.
Bionicle
How could
is
you do
not
that?
back.
Why would you
Bionicle is
slide for
not
everything?
coming back.
I like how that was literally the first thing Meso says in the video and still got called out for clickbaiting.
That's because people. So, I obviously didn't have anything to do
What's
with
the
that
video's
video.
title? I forget.
The video's title
The
is
video was-
Breaking News. Christian Faber posts cryptic Bionicle Instagram teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people on Reddit-
there's nothing clickbaity about
I
that.
know.
People
it's
on
like-
Reddit
that's
were
exactly
saying
what
that
happened.
the words cryptic and teaser were apparently clickbaity,
Clickbait
even
is
though
when
he
you do
posted.
something vague purposely so that it can be taken as something that more than what it is.
Yeah,
That spelled it
would
out.
be like, could Bionicle be coming back?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is Bionicle coming back?
So here's what Christian Faber has
Guys,
done.
Bionicle's back.
On April 1st, Christian Faber, who, for anyone who doesn't know, is a concept artist who formerly worked for Advance. I don't think he still does, right? I think he left
I believe
No,
that
I
he
do not believe he works for
to do his own
I'll-
stuff.
I'll get his
He was
page up.
he was heavily involved in the production of Bionicle. To what extent is a little unclear because there are many other people involved in the early days, like Alistair Swinnerton, who wrote the first story Bible, I believe.
Well, I can
Bob.
I can tell you exactly what he did. Yeah, he was
Really?
Yeah, he was a concept artist, but he was so involved that he came up with practically every facet of the look of the world. I don't think there is a single piece of concept art in the early days of Bionicle that anyone has ever seen that is not done by Faber. He was
Fair
incredibly
enough.
hands-on and involved with the look of
But-
Bionicle, maybe with the exception of the sets.
From the
Yeah.
logo to the tone and the
the monitor
atmosphere,
robot.
it could almost be all attributed to Faber.
Yes.
Yeah. So Faber has been working on his own thing for a few years, a project called Rebel Nature that people are generally unclear as to what it even is, but he's been working on that for several years alongside the band Cryoshell, who also worked on Bionicle. On April 1st, 2019, Faber posted on Instagram 3 letters, BIO, with the B somewhat looking like a 3, and the caption of, what if there's an undiscovered way back, a secret path to reset destiny? How many of you would join?
Reset
Hashtag
Destiny?
14
Sure, let's get rid of that.
Wow, I don't want to lose my Gallahorn.
Yeah.
So, naturally,
Another
because
Destiny
of the somewhat questionable timing of the April 1st release, most people in the community immediately jumped to thinking this was an April Fool's joke, and in fact, it kind of flew under the radar for...
As they did with BioCraft, which is really, really funny. I did not
Yeah,
think
it
it'd
is.
be so easy to make people think that it was a prank, but
Yeah,
it was
right.
really
We'll
easy.
get to that.
So this kind of flew under the radar for upwards of 24 hours, and honestly, nobody in TTV even really talked about it because we were too busy, immersing ourselves in
Panicking.
BioCraft. But once April
Yeah,
2nd
we were
started,
doing a lot of panicking.
once April 2nd started and I saw he didn't take the post down and didn't come out and be like, hey, this is a prank, I went to Instagram and I was like, all right, Mr. Faber, I get that you have to keep the mystique up for whatever you're doing, but could you, at least tell us if this is an April Fool's joke? Just say like, ha, pranked, or if there's something we can look forward to on the horizon. And he gave me a more detailed response and was essentially like, I don't work at Lego, so I can't decide product releases, but I'm ready. I want to be involved in this again, and I'm trying to get into position to make that happen. Who knows? And then I was like, well, that proves it's not a prank. So I think we're good to make a news video about it. So I did. It blew up. The post is now sitting at over 1,100 likes. And Faber has been amazed by the reaction and the outpouring of support. And he's posted a few more updates. Namely, he edited his initial post to say the wave of inspiration from one single post is totally amazing. You are the best. This is all the fuel anybody could wish for. Thumbs up. And then he posted another logo with the letters ON, which is obviously part of the full word Bionicle. And he says, amazing. There's only one thing to do after that response. This project is on from my side and now becomes the hard part and the leap of faith and airtime until it takes the right shape. One thing is for certain. This thing only got big originally because of your engagement, and it's made out of the energy of the fans. Hashtag 14B 2020.
I still don't understand what the hashtag's supposed to represent, though.
Yeah, I don't.
The 14th year of Bionicle in 2020. It's been
But it
13
doesn't.
years.
The problem with that is that he already said that he has no control over, like, product releases. So what is this 2020 BS? Like, what does that mean?
Another comment he made said that 2020 is the date that we start looking forward instead of back. So what that means is that's when he's making.
Does he mean we're gonna lose our 2020 vision?
It doesn't.
What I think that means is he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna spend the next year in the community, like basically formulating this thing, and then 2020 is when he's gonna pitch it.
I mean, there's no way anything could happen sooner than that.
No, there's no way a product release could happen.
Yeah,
That's
of
why he's
course.
making the pitch.
I'm glad he's.
It just seems like if that's the case, then I don't know. The hashtag is strange. It doesn't really communicate what his goal is or
No, it
what
does
we
not.
should expect.
The handling of this was slightly not botched because it's getting his intended hope, but it could have been done better. I really question his methods in terms of revealing this to the world because I feel like he could have got a much bigger pop if it was, number one, less cryptic, and number two, maybe it wasn't on April 1st. But then again, it worked out well for us.
Right? Picked out such an interesting day.
I don't. It's really weird. I don't really like. I get not wanting to reveal the entirety of your plan, especially if you're trying to formulate a pitch to give to big name executives so that they can actually approve it, right? But at the same time, why be so vague about it? Like, tell us what it is you're trying to get us to rally behind, because otherwise no one knows what's going on. Like, do you have a plan for a G3? Are you planning on bringing Bionicle back? What do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Other than just like your Instagram.
Vague promises.
You know?
Is he going for a government position?
Yeah, like as far as we know, you don't actually work in any facet of Lego or any Lego, partnership at all. So the prospects of actually getting into position to do anything with Bionicle seems very slim. So it would be nice to know, like, what it is you're trying to do. Like, even like the smallest bare minimum of, I just want to pitch something, like that. Yeah. That would be fine. That's all we need.
Faber's always been like this in his blog posts and stuff on the Faber files. He's very verbose, very mysterious. Nothing's ever really clear. I'll never forget the one blog entry where he claims that the initial Hero Factory story Bible was like way more complex than Bionicle's ever was. And it was like the best story ever. And when people naturally were curious about that, because how can you say a claim like that? And then we want to know what it was. He like never spoke about it again. It's like he does stuff like this all the time. He keeps his cards close to the vest. But with this situation, it merited a little more. And the way he's phrasing it since, he's made a few comments that I can't find. They're lost in the sea of like 500 posts now. But one of the things that someone asked him on the latest one was, will you be cooperating with LEGO on this project? And Faber said, they will definitely get the invitation.
That's not how this works.
What that tells me is it reconfirms what I've been thinking, and that is he is operating from this under, I'm going to pitch it to LEGO. If they go with it, sure. If not, I'm just going to do it myself.
Right.
I'll make my own
Which
Bionicle.
tells me that what he's trying to do, he probably has a concept for a story that might interest Bionicle fans that could work as a Bionicle story.
Yes.
And he is going to try to pitch said story to LEGO to make it a thing, but the likelihood is LEGO is going to deny the pitch. Therefore, he will end up making his own original story with elements of a Bionicle story.
Yeah. Before we like actually discuss this,
Kind of like the Project Afterman fan project there.
I've been saying on the boards and on Reddit,
I feel.
like, I approve 100% of supporting Faber in this. I said it on the video. There's nothing can hurt from going like, hey, good luck. We're all with you. However, I do firmly believe we need to keep our expectations in check. The Instagram comments hurt me. People screaming like, yes, Bionicle's back.
Oh,
because
really?
they're just setting themselves up for the potential fall. There's 3 possibilities here that it could shake into that are not what we would all ideally like for. And that is, number 1, LEGO rejects Bionicle G3 and Faber does his own fan project for Bionicle that continues/reboots the theme without LEGO sets. 2, LEGO rejects Bionicle but approves a new theme with a new name that still has similar aesthetics/theming to Bionicle. It's a successor, but as close to a continuation as we'll get. And that's in line with Faber saying, even the name might have to evolve in another comment of his. 3, LEGO rejects Bionicle, and Faber isn't allowed to continue the theme on his own because of legal trademarks. Ergo, he's forced to make a new creative project with a new name and new characters that isn't Bionicle, but with Faber's influence and what would surely be similar themes and aesthetics, it could be the closest thing we could get to Bionicle in the modern era, just without LEGO sets. The beauty of this whole thing, to me, is that all 3 of those, plus a return of Bionicle as a LEGO theme, are all exciting prospects, because it's more than what we have right now, and it might be something potentially interesting. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no losing option here, so long as you do not fixate on one potential possibility. If you do that,
least
you're
likely
setting
one.
yourselves up for disappointment.
Yeah, the least likely one is that Bionicle comes back. Out of all the the potential routes this could go. So.
Yeah,
Because like I said in the video, like, Faber could have the best idea in the world, and LEGO could be like, nah, construction doesn't sell, so we're not going to do it.
Right. You really have to.
And then we go to LEGO with Brickonicle, and we get all the money.
Exactly.
Lego says, nah, we're going to stick with putting out a set based on the old 90s show Friends. That'll do.
I don't like it. I don't like it. See, I'm fine with Faber doing what he wants. That's whatever. I have zero excitement for this because I have no reason to believe anything is going to come of it in any regard. Not even a Bionicle comeback. I mean, anything.
Yeah, I don't think Bionicle's going to come back from this.
I'm reasonably
Not from
confident
this.
Bionicle won't come back, but I'm talking about anything at all. And the reason I feel that way is because, what do you guys know about Rebel Nature?
I literally had to read up on it the other night because of this post. I was like, oh yeah, wasn't Christian Faber doing something? Rebel Nature?
What did
So
you learn?
I-
What did you learn?
I learned.
The only thing that I know about Rebel Nature is that Cryoshell is involved, and there's some girl with red hair.
He has
Yeah,
a mood video.
There's
Nude
a-
video.
Yes.
Basically, Rebel Nature is a concept, and that's all it's been for the past couple years. Is a concept.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what Faber says
far as we know.
on his mood
As
video
far
on
as we've
April
seen.
12th, 2018.
As far as we've been given.
He says, Rebel Nature is a full-blown IP in development across multiple media platforms.
Yeah, like it's supposed
including
include
app
video
games, VR experiences, music, museum, and science projects, as well as a live-action feature film, Waveborn, set in a near-future world where technology and nature has joined forces and humanity has become the endangered species.
But I wonder who's like working on this. Is this
I
Faber
know.
trying to juggle like a bazillion things, and so none of it gets done?
Yeah,
know,
it
right?
just. Also, this is another good point by Lexon in the YouTube live chat. Faber didn't do the giveaway. Faber had a giveaway on his YouTube channel where he was like, post in the comments below your Bionicle story, and here is my massive collection of unopened Bionicle sets, and I'll just give these to people. That was months ago. Nothing came of it. And I know for a fact he's also reached out to several Bionicle community members saying, hey, can I give you guys some stuff? And it went nowhere.
I'm betting someone told him don't do that.
I
Oh
bet
yeah,
it's
no, I'm sure legal.
unopened
like you're not allowed to
Bionicle
do that.
sets.
Yeah,
They're
it's
his
like
property. They're not even prototypes.
it's like
But
it's like
LJ, we know how Lego is when it comes to their assets, though.
Yeah, we know how
People
Lego
involved
is.
with them.
We know how Lego
We
is.
know. We've heard plenty.
I mean, yeah, but when we're in direct partnership, he isn't. This is like years later.
I still think they could catch him on it.
Yeah, I don't think that the amount of time would matter to Lego.
Giveaway, not even selling them.
Mm-hmm. Especially
I
a
feel
giveaway.
like,
No,
Especially
I feel
from
like
someone
if he
who
would try this so many times and be told no so many times, he would stop trying.
Yeah,
to...
no, I don't see a lot of water being held there.
Yeah, I feel like
I
he must
do.
have gotten permission to do it, and that's why he's trying to do
Wasn't
it.
he trying to give away concept art too?
I think at one point, but then he was contacted by the Lego house to have it shown there instead. But again, this is just unopened stock Bionicle sets that he's not even selling.
I mean, regardless of the reason, you're correct that it never came to fruition.
He was going to sell all of his Bionicle sets, and then right as he was about to sell them, he did what a lot of us should have done or almost did before G2 and was like, don't sell them. Wait, Bionicle could come back. And so he decided to reboot Bionicle right then and there.
Yeah. So, it's certainly interesting. But yeah, Faber's projects have a tendency to be very vague and underground, and we don't really ever see what happens to them. So it doesn't really bode a lot of confidence into what could potentially happen with the new Bionicle thing, especially with the amount of years that Rebel Nature has been kind of a thing without being a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to say one way or the other. I'm kind of in between you, LJ, and the popular belief that Mesa is kind of promoting about having faith in it, because it's like, on one hand, we should absolutely be, on board with someone who is so integral to the early stages of Bionicle wanting to bring Bionicle back. That's something that has not happened previously in any realm. The past Bionicle reboot, no one involved seemed to really understand what was going on, or the people that were involved with G1 were kind of brought in as I think it was only Greg brought in as an advisory role, but his actual drive to bring Bionicle back seemed to be nothing more than, yeah, I guess I can give you some tips on what Tahu would do in that situation, I guess.
Yeah, I know for a fact Greg was in fact brought in, and I know that he at least briefly consulted. In fact, it says here on BSO1, for the 2015 revival of Bionicle, Faber initially announced that he would act as a creative consultant. However, Faber later revealed that he would be leaving Advance to start his own creative company, Rocket. Though he would still liaison with Lego and Advance as a freelancer.
Right, and so that's another thing. So, so in that regard, supporting Faber's initiative is absolutely something that we should do. But then you have the other hand here, where we've already did the whole Bionicle reboot one time before, and it didn't work very well. Two, Faber himself.
Well, it's not that it didn't work very well. It just didn't work as well as it
didn't work at all.
It didn't work at all.
But it sold well. What are you talking about?
In the end, sales were fine.
But also Faber as a leader in terms of getting this thing done, I'm not sure if he's the right person to do so. Yeah. Only because with some of the other projects, we're not really sure what's going on with them development-wise, and because it sounds like, all right, so he had a chance to be an advisor on Bionicle G2, but he left Advance to form his own company so he could do Rebel Nature. And years later, here we are, where Rebel Nature is still not a thing, and now he's trying to do Bionicle again? ?
And before he left Advance, because he was angry that nobody listened to his consultational advice and ruined the thing he made.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing, is that we just don't know. But
yeah, my stance is, support him all you want, just do not get invested.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
There's a fine line between crazy hype fervor and support and help. And
you go get them.
Right.
Yeah. Because in the end, our involvement is minimal. All we need to do to Faber is reinforce. Yes, whatever you do here, we'll enjoy it. We'll watch it. We'll read it. We'll buy it. We don't really need to be a part of the production pipeline or refresh his Instagram every day waiting for another, like...
Yeah.
All Faber needs is your credit card number, the 3 digits on the back, and the expiration month and year.
But with that said, there needs
your
to be an
moms.
understanding with
Credit card.
the backing of the community. There needs to be an understanding that, like, we do want results with that support. You know, like, no one wants to be told it's happening only for it to not happen.
Exactly.
So, if Faber's going to go forward with this initiative, he needs to be very careful about how he handles teasers and or promotional stuff, and if things are still up in the air, to not confirm that it is happening.
He
What
could
if-
risk like depressing everyone.
Imagine a scenario where Christian Faber is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that basically came up with Bionicle. He's like, all right, I need to come up with something new, something that's nothing like Bionicle at all. He spends years on this project, developing it, new ideas, only for it to turn into Bionicle again.
He's trying to come up with something new, but it keeps dragging him back.
It keeps, yeah.
It's
He goes,
interesting.
all right, Rebel Nature. Toa Tahu wakes up on a... What am I doing?
It's like a
What?
fever dream.
That's why, really, if there's like any message to take from this, at the very least, start thinking about the possibility that there might be a spiritual successor to Bionicle that is not Bionicle.
Just
Look-
called Bion.
It could be something with a similar look, not Ninjaga. I'm talking like aesthetically, it's thematically. It could be very similar. It could be robots in a natural landscape. There could be crazy twists and turns, and cultural influences from I don't know, some other culture. I don't know, but it might not be Bionicle, and it definitely will not be the adventures of Spherus Magna fighting Marindar and Cabrua and Velika. No. That ship is sailed. That ship is done. Faber will not touch that with a 20-foot pole. If you want that finished, go talk to Greg. It will be another reboot or a spiritual successor. One of the two, if it happens at all. And
Champion production facility.
prepare yourself also for no Lego sets, because I do not think there is a
no.
chance for Construction to return.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think so. I mean, if it's gonna happen, it'd be a system theme,
Yeah,
which we all
so
know how everybody feels about that. But
Get
listen,
used to it, fellas. Go look
it's
at Sakota's.
it's the reality of what would happen.
If you hate our G3 project, go look at Sakota on the message boards. That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, he does
Makes
great work.
mods. So yeah,
So BioCraft.
not yet.
Soon.
So the other
Oh yeah,
thing-
we have to talk about
Shut down.
Ignition War.
one other quick update. Construction is officially off shelves.
No.
Just a report at my Target, they have put the last of Construction sets into a basket, rolled it to the back room, and have just neglected to backstock it for like a week. They just sit there, unloved. In
No,
a
but what about
back room.
the BioCraft Big Figs?
I mean, yeah,
Whatever.
those are lasting, I guess.
Oh.
Well, those are
The last
Construction.
The last CCBS is gone. So rest in peace, Darth Maul and Han Solo. We knew thee not well.
Oh no.
What ends
Darth
up happening to
Maul and
sets
Han
like that, T-Legon says? I mean, they're put into clearance, or they're just like thrown out or
Trashed,
sent away.
probably. Yeah,
Which is
Yeah,
super
Given to
bogus.
homeless people.
I imagine with surplus stock like that they can't sell, they just end up destroying.
If it's Target, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it went to some kind of donation type thing.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Having worked at Target, I know that there was certain food items where, if there's nothing wrong with the package, it's just kind of beat up, but, if the food isn't compromised, then they'll, keep it to give it, a food shelf or something
Oh yeah, Takuma, you worked at Target too.
for, a year. And I said,
Nice.
forget that noise.
Fair enough.
Did you
So,
guys,
yes.
completely unrelated to that, though, just real quick, back to the Faber thing. You guys did notice that the logo was the same font that we've actually seen before?
For what?
Yeah, I
G2
remember you
prototype
pointing
font.
that out.
From the concept art.
Yeah, it's from the concept art for G2.
I like it.
I'll actually post the image that we were given you can see it is very clearly the same font. Faber's has obviously been modified to some extent. Mostly the O is not the same.
And the B.
But- well, no, the B. Well, yeah, the B's been
Same
modified,
shape, but it's been edited.
It has been edited, but it is the same B.
This concept art was so cool.
It was. There was a user in our YouTube comments that pointed this out. I do not remember your name, so I'm sorry. Won't be able to credit you here. But someone did point this
stealing
out.
Ideas, plagiarism.
Yeah.
But no, this is absolutely the exact same font. So, like, it's the same font.
Fair enough.
They have changed it, yes, but it's the font.
All right.
So I don't know if that's just a font that they were using in the back end for Lego Concept or not.
Maybe.
But
I love how he was able to do the first teaser post with bio to get people hyped, and the next one with on to be like, the project is on. What's he going to do for Ickle?
Hey guys, try out this new Snickle represented by Ickle.
No, he's gonna like, well, I got turned down. It was very ickle.
Fantastic. But yeah, that's pretty much.
It's just gonna be, oh no, I got it. It's just gonna be I see, because I pitched the project and that's all Lego said. I see. So now we're trying to figure out if they'll accept it or not.
And then they
Perfect.
said, ick.
The Bionicle community is
Lay.
fickle. Princess.
Ickle.
All right. That's pretty
Bionicle.
much all for 3onicle, unless anyone has any other thoughts.
310 onicle. Good
I'm
luck.
fine.
What I would recommend everyone do, just go message on Faber's post, be like, yeah, good luck, hope something comes of this, please keep us posted. But try not to go around telling everyone Bionicle's definitely coming back, because it's not, right? At least not right now. Probably not ever, but definitely not right now. And I don't want anyone to get their hopes up and then have them get crushed in spectacular fashion, because that would just take this little grain of hope we've been given and crush it down into the finest despair.
Yeah. You
So,
wouldn't want...
Finest despair.
just be careful how you go about this. You wouldn't want anyone calling you not a true Bionicle fan for being skeptical.
Which I totally did to you the other night, and I totally don't regret it.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah,
Go
you're a
around
little bit of
spreading
a...
misinformation.
Where's thy faith, LJ?
You're a little bit of a hypocrite.
We haven't. Well, you've changed your tune on today's podcast.
No, I
You're
haven't.
being far more moderate.
Yeah,
No.
you're a lot less cynical than you were being
No,
the
I'm
other
still
day.
very cynical. I don't
Hey,
think anything
cynicism
is
is
going
my
to...
job.
Nothing is going to come of this.
Cynic LJ.
100%. I am of that opinion. Nothing is going to come of this because we have no reason
And
to
you're
believe
allowed to
anything
have
will.
that opinion.
I'm definitely
but-
still as cynical, and I
You're
have no
definitely
faith that
different.
this is going to...
Otherwise-
I have no faith anything is going to come of this. The only concession I'm making is, yeah, go ahead and support him. That's fine. I'm not trying to put him down. It's just, he's given me no reason to believe anything will happen. Also, he won't return any of my messages, any of Messo's messages.
Or mine.
He's not return. He's just...
We just want to talk to you, Faber.
I don't
Your post
like...
got 240 likes, and I made my video, and now it's got 1,100. Can we at least talk to you?
It just, I have no
are
reason
nothing.
to
We are less
believe
than ants.
anything will happen.
To make a very pessimistic, skeptical observation, it does kind of feel as though it's more of an attempt to use nostalgia of the Bionicle, like brand as a way of inflating and promoting himself to get into a position where
Yeah.
he could
Who would do that? Who would
get
who
into
would
a good
release-
job, That's what it kind of feels
Who would
like.
release fake stuff just to get subscribers?
Even, even yesterday, I said to Lego, Faber is a guy. He's just another guy who used to work with a company that Lego used to, well, still does work with, but he used to work there. He doesn't actively work there. He's not actively working on any Lego product. This is the same as me sitting there and going, hey, Lego,
No.
I'm voicing all these Liwa roles in the community right
It's
now.
not the same at all.
So I'm angling myself in a way to where my name is synonymous. So you should
So
definitely...
you're trying
I'm
to,
just
you're
putting
trying to
myself
have
in this
it both
position.
ways, and this is
not
why
the
we
same
this is
thing.
why we argue it off the podcast. You're trying to have it both ways. You're trying to simultaneously say Faber did a lot for Bionicle, he's one of the biggest architects of
like
the theme,
what?
and also saying he's just a guy.
Well, yeah.
He's not.
No,
Faber is part of the
That's-
big
that's-
three.
That's not what I'm
That's
saying.
not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He is acknowledging the fact that Faber was, like a huge part of the actual development of Bionicle itself, but that is coming from the perspective of a fan who is able to recognize that. To Lego, that's a different story. To them, he is just another guy who happens.
He is not on the same level with your Leo voice actor.
I'm
I'm
not,
sorry.
I'm not saying he's on the same
That's
level.
not what he's saying.
That was
He's saying
it's an analogy.
No, I know. I understand. what
For
he's saying.
Lego,
I just hope
he
he
might as
gets
well be
that
just a voice actor. He doesn't actually matter that much to a company like Lego, who is focused on selling their products. They don't care about Bionicle, and they especially do not care about some guy that worked on Bionicle.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but there's no evidence of that. If anyone could make a pitch,
I mean, there's no evidence of that.
like that they don't
There's no
care about
evidence that
someone who
Lego
worked
cares.
on Bionicle.
Lego doesn't
They very
care.
well might.
You think they care? They
Well,
don't
I'm
care.
just
I think it's a possibility, and I think that if anyone could actually
I-
make a pitch, it would be a qualified concept artist who's worked with them in the past for Bionicle. If there's anyone I would trust to
Right.
make a pitch for a new theme, it would be him.
And I agree with that, but it's just like, I don't know, man. In terms of convincing a company to go with your pitch, then I don't think the qualifications that we see in Faber are necessarily going to be as big of a selling point to Lego as they would be to us as fans. Like we're able to see Faber's history and involvement with the line and know that if he were to be given a power where he could bring Bionicle back, he would probably do it. He would probably give it a treatment that we as fans would enjoy. That's fine. I just don't think Lego would see it that way.
And I mean, I agree, I'm debating this, but in my video, I say verbatim, Faber could have the best idea ever, with a lot of marketing and a diverse product line and great theming and amazing artwork and a full budget, thing with a story that will redefine the genre. And Lego will be like, nah, construction doesn't sell.
Right.
So we're not doing it. My thing is that
so you agree with LJ then?
That doesn't fall on Faber being just a guy to Lego. That's falling on us being skeptical that Lego would bring back construction. That's where we diverge. If anyone is qualified in the entire world to do this, it is Faber. Not because he's a freaking legend with a reputation that, Lego bows down in respect to him. But it's because he has the resume, he has the knowledge from the fans, he has the technical skill, and he has the contacts to actually get a thing done. You think Greg Farshty could make a pitch for the new Bionicle to Lego? No. Greg
No one is doubting the ability for Faber to come up with a concept or a pitch that could actually work. No one is doubting that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would recommend using different language, LJ.
Yeah.
Less Downy language.
I feel like the language is fine. I feel like there might be a misunderstanding as to what he's trying to say.
Yeah. I'm reasonably confident in the language I used.
I thought what he was saying was pretty clear.
Yeah, English is a good language.
Well, some people may disagree.
Well, I don't know. Personally, I was
objectively speaking, English is actually
until you said the part about you voicing all the Lewas and saying that gave you enough of the chance
it's
as
an
much
analogy.
as Faber. It was
a
a
bad
bad
analogy.
analogy.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
See, analogy isn't bringing him down to my level. That's not what I'm trying to suggest. I'm not trying to say that they are on the same wavelength. I'm just trying to say because in his initial post, he even says he's trying to put himself into a position where he can be a part.
He's using the community as leverage for that position.
Yes, and
Indeed.
so
He doesn't currently have that position.
It would be like... No, okay. Ronimus says, except you straight up said your stuff had the same credibility of just a guy. That's not what I said.
Might not be what you were trying.
It's not. What I said was it would be as if I would be in the community, the Bionicle community, voicing all of these Lewa roles, and then being like, look, I'm just trying to position myself to where when they bring Bionicle back and have a Lewa role, then
he could be Lewa.
Exactly. I'm now in the position, even though that's not how it works. Like this.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to go about this in a way that would, get results, he wouldn't be trying to go to the community and be like, guys, are you excited? I'm excited. He would just
I
pitch
get
it
what
to
you're
Lego.
saying, LJ. I get what you're saying. Just trying to check your ego after BioCraft came out, that's all.
I get what you're saying too. I just think the community is an important part. Maybe
I'm
I
not
wouldn't
saying they're
mislead
not an
people
important
like
part.
this. I wouldn't maybe work them into a frenzy like this, but I think definitely.
I mean, it is an important part. That's why he's leveraging the community to try to get into the position where he could do this. It's just like, in terms of whether we should actually be excited that we can expect results, that we actually believe this is going to go anywhere, in terms of the actual person who's doing the leveraging, I don't think that there's anything to go on that would actually, give us any hope towards a result to happen. So and just because it's Christian Faber, just because he has that history with Bionicle doesn't actually mean anything, because while it does mean stuff for us as the community, to Lego it means very little.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Christian Faber is just a guy in that he's done nothing and is worth nothing. I'm just saying that to Lego right now, he's a former associate. And that won't have
just
enough sway. Yeah.
Which is why obviously he agrees, which is why he's trying to leverage the community and get us involved.
Yes. He's trying to trying to garner enough response to go to Lego with and be like, see, there's interest here.
Yeah, see, not only do I also have history with the project, but there's clearly a lot of people who want the project back. It's that in conjunction with each other, plus the pitch he has planned, plus anything else that we might not know about, that would hopefully bring it back. But as of right now, all we have is what we know. So, yeah. And in terms of what we know, I agree that I'm not sure there's enough there to really warrant any level of excitement or hope that something is going to come of it.
Be supportive, not hopeful at this point.
Like I said earlier,
that's what I would say.
Support it all you want.
Which LJ agrees with.
Yeah.
Which LJ agrees with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like LJ, maybe if you had actually watched my video, we maybe wouldn't have had disagreements.
I don't,
because you're
we're not having any disagreements. We're agreeing.
I feel like you are arguing with nothing right now, Nessa, and I think you were arguing with nothing last night as well. I don't think LJ ever said anything that disagreed with you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Messa.
I mean,
we have a very different. We have a slightly, not even a very different. We have a very
LJ last night at 6:29. I'm just saying, you guys are falling for the same trap yet again.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What trap exactly? Just to make sure that we're on the same page. What trap do you think that I'm falling?
I mean, well, first of all, definitely a slightly elitist trap where you, I guess, half jokingly went, "Oh come on, you're so cynical, LJ. You're not a real Bionicle fan."
Yeah, it was very joking. But yes, I was abjectly mocking the fact that I am always the one who doubts things. And the one time I'm like, hey, this could be cool.
The one time you're the one who believe you should be doubting it. I think this is doubt-worthy. That's all I'm saying. Support it. Support it. Definitely support it. Just don't get invested.
This is just an LJ Meso thing. Got it.
Listen, I'm not looking for an argument here.
Yeah, I mean, where was I? I was about to move on.
Issues that should be taken outside the podcast.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine. You're allowed to not get hyped for things. It's just
never do anything.
It came off as like minorly ignorant. That's all.
What? Okay. Just
don't watch.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Don't watch the video. Don't read the post.
Let's move on.
Say I'm like a sheep who's like believing hype culture and then brings it up on the podcast.
Let's hone in on this.
And then brings it up on the podcast to start a discussion when we're about to change topics. I'm just saying.
What?
You did though. You were the one that brought it up.
No, Aldo was like, yeah, remember that thing where, like, off air, you called me a fake Bionicle fan? When that was like a joke. That wasn't like a. But that didn't need to be talked about on the podcast.
It was tongue in cheek.
I don't want to bring this on the podcast. But like, I do think it's important to get to the bottom of the Faber's, like, you know, just the guy thing. Your logic does make sense. It's just slightly more, I guess, in the prior talks, it was just slightly more dismissive than I would say. But I get your points. I do agree. We do have the same thing about not giving into hype culture, which I'm honestly not doing. I just want to send people with a message of positive support. That's all. But I definitely do think it's important to expect that BioNicle will not come back as a result of this.
Oh my god.
You and I stand in solidarity there.
Okay.
Look, we all agree Bionicle's not coming back, right? Cool. So let's move on to the next
I
thing.
think there is.
It's almost been an hour, and we've been saying the same thing.
There's no need to awkwardly transition. We can properly transition.
Oh no.
It's a perfectly
Really?
fine
So far.
conversation to have. This is an important talk. This is the biggest thing the community's had to deal with in 4 years. To brush it under the rug means nothing for anybody, and it is very multifaceted. The community's been hurt numerous times, so I think getting a consistent message to tell people is important, and there's obviously a lot of different perspectives to it. So everybody just keep that in mind going forward. If anything does come of this, we'll be sure to update you in the future in podcasts and in other types of videos. So stay tuned, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And I'm sorry, Alder. You're a good BioNicle fan. You've reviewed every set.
Yeah, I know.
I never once meant to say you weren't a good BioNicle fan. That was always just a joke.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of other good BioNicle fans,
Speaking of
Yes,
awkward transition.
that's a transition.
So, for the sake of context, a few weeks ago when I was on the LJ Johnson show, we were talking about fan projects and how a lot of fan projects fall into the trap of promising the world and advertising themselves. What the heck was that?
Sorry, I was getting the video. I was getting the video up and it started.
Oh my god.
I'm
It sounded like you were
Star
getting
Wars.
abducted by aliens.
I'm sorry. I was getting the video so I can share it with everyone. So there you go.
Sweet. We were talking about how fan projects will like advertise themselves to death before they have anything done and burn out their hype and their interest before kind of eventually evaporating into nothing. And I was looking up, the Bionicle Ignition to look up the, movie by Bionicle NP or Noah Productions to use that project as an example of a project done right, where it's just like a big stop motion movie and he just makes it and he just releases it. And I found this video called Bionicle Ignition War when I was searching by Borok321, and I watched like 5 seconds and then I stopped. It was like, all right, LJ, we have to watch this after this video because we're going to talk about this on the next TTV podcast. Well, it's been like a week since we saw it, so opinions aren't entirely fresh, but I still think we could offer a recommendation. Unequivocally, go watch this video. Watch this video right now. The moment you finish this podcast, watch this video. It is a stop motion project with some of the most smooth, fluid stop motion animation that I've ever seen. I don't claim that it's like the best in the world, but it's definitely some of the best that I've seen ever.
Very creatively animated too. There are certain
Oh,
characters
definitely.
that like moved in a way that you wouldn't expect them to, but it works so well.
Yes.
Like,
It's so
very
great.
creative.
It's a very loose adaptation of the Ignition story, 06, 07, and 08, but it's done in like this really weird style. I don't even know what to call it. It's not really. I guess it's kind of a
Very
parody.
zany.
Very zany, very nonsensical, and yet if you know your Bionicle story, there's a through line there, and there's a billion references to like the plot and what actually went down in those years. It's just hyped up to 11 and completely ridiculous. Like there's little Lego Knight minifigures, there's aliens at one point, there's all the Bionicle characters, but there's references to other Bionicle projects.
Dimension jumping,
Nintendo DS's as the Doomsday Clock.
miniature versions of the main characters fighting alongside or against
my God.
the main characters.
It's timely for LJ's retired reviews. The playsets are important.
It
The minifigures
very
are
much it very much felt like how a kid would tell the story of Bionicle through their own playtime. Like how like you're like a little kid who's a big fan of Bionicle. You've read the books and watched the movies, and now you have all the toys, and you just want to play with your toys. It felt like that. It was very much a like, oh god, just crazy, all like off the wall like zaniness that I loved.
Yeah.
It was great.
So smooth,
I have
so
mixed
high
feelings.
energy.
I can't honestly say that I've had that much fun watching a video recently. I was dying with laughter and hype at points. It was just such a fun roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
There's so many things I wish I could talk about, but I don't want to spoil them for you. So just minifigure Radak. That's all I'm gonna say.
Minifigure Radak was the greatest. Following his journey and character arc was one of the best moments of 2019.
Agreed. It's like
if you have a group
Already
of
calling
friends
it
to
in.
watch it with, I would recommend doing that. This is the kind of video I think watching with people.
It's like a
really
movie night.
enhances the
Oh
experience.
yeah, I don't think you can watch this video alone.
Yeah, that's
You'll go
probably why I only
insane.
watched about 10 minutes of it so far.
I'll watch
I
it with
really
you,
need to
babe.
finish the rest of it. All right.
Yeah, it might be a little too crazy to watch by yourself, but if you have people to bounce off the zaniness with, then it'll be very
Oh yeah,
fun.
Avak is my favorite character.
I was pretty impressed by what I saw, though.
Yeah.
I think just the whole
Some of the best
it's
stop motion I've definitely seen
ridiculously-
done with Bionicle.
ridiculously fluid, and I like that he's not afraid of using like the putty being obvious on like his posing and all that stuff. I think he's just willing to go with whatever makes the shot actually work. So
It's the kind of thing where after we finished watching it, I just really didn't have any thoughts concretely. It was like my brain had been turned to mush and I couldn't formulate coherent critique. It just kind of wowed me in a way that nothing really has in a long time. So I would definitely recommend you watch it sooner rather than later. It's a really good project.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all there is to say about it.
It's
without giving
also
specifics.
55 minutes long.
Yeah, it's basically a movie.
Yeah.
It's maybe my only criticism is that it's maybe a little too long.
Maybe.
Ah.
But
The
it's all-
once the final act starts, it does like the fight goes on.
it really
And then
does.
it goes on, and then
It
you think it's
builds
over, and then it goes on again.
It
So
builds to insane
Yeah.
heights, though.
consistently one ups each other. There was a lot of different references to other stop motion as well, which is really cool. I definitely spotted some stuff that I think if you're a fan of
Canister Wasteland.
if you're a fan of Bionicle stop motion, there's definitely some treats to be had here.
You will
So.
enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I do get some of the critiques about how it might be a little too fast and it's hard to tell what's going on. And it's kind of zany. It might not be for
Those are
everybody,
definitely my critiques.
but it like 100% worked for me. I would not have changed its presentation style or its very tongue-in-cheek, ridiculous thing, up to and including the exaggerated eyes, which were comedy gold.
Okay, that's
Oh, yeah.
my biggest critique. I hated the eyes.
I thought
Love
it
that.
completely worked with what this video was.
Died.
I thought it was
Killed
fine.
me.
Yeah.
So go watch it, have fun, and leave some thoughts for the creator in the comments. Let him know how he did. We also have our own movie that is even longer than this.
Yeah.
LJ,
really,
what have you been up to recently?
What have I been up to? What have we been up to? Although, admit, we've all been putting in a lot of work on this. Well, to preface, obviously enough, about 8 years ago, we announced a project that we wanted to do called BioCraft Chronicles. It was the 2001 story retold in Minecraft, because one night we were playing some Minecraft, we got into a new world, and I spawned on a beach, and I was like, guys, I spawned on a beach in Minecraft. Like Tahu washed up on the beach in Bionicle. BioCraft! Haha! Whoops. So, this is the culmination of 8 years of work, and by 8 years I mean 47 days straight, of working on a film project. So back in February, we had decided we wanted to do BioCraft again to celebrate the one whole year of the cast reconfiguration. So, Mike coming back, etc., etc. And so we decided, all right, let's just bring BioCraft back, because there's a video on our channel, a trailer for another project that was in the works called TTV On Air. And at the very end of the trailer, it says, coming soon, before BioCraft. Not anymore. So 47 days later, BioCraft Chronicles is officially out. It's an hour and 10 minutes long. We're super happy with it. We worked very, very, very hard on it. Like, to the point, one of our current patrons in the call right now, Yuki7900, she sent me this drawing that I felt was really, really accurate. It summed up the LJ. It summed up the LJ working on BioCraft experience, because there were definitely a few times
LJ.jpg.
LJ dies on desk.jpg.
There were definitely a couple of times where I fell asleep at my desk. But yeah, we've been working on it basically nonstop for 47 days after 8 years of it being an idea, and it's out, and we couldn't be happier.
There was an idea.
So I think one of the cooler aspects of the film that most people who have seen it probably don't realize, if you're not a patron, is that it was created in 47 days, right? 47 is what you said?
About 47 days.
Insanity.
So, and we're talking about basically from the ground up. So a lot of people, obviously remarked, "Oh, I'm so glad that they redid the voice acting," or seems like the script has gone through some changes since the original teasers that were released.
Where did the CGI go?
The movie as it is on the channel has been completely redone.
It's a brand
no
new
aspects. Yeah, no aspects of the original film that we had initially tried to make back in the day is retained, other than the island of Motunui map that we made in, I think, like 2016, I want to say.
It was released publicly in 2016.
Yeah, so that's the only asset that we reused for this. Everything else is basically brand new. Voice acting, the scripting, the movie's plot, everything. All the footage was redone and reshot, all within a month, basically. So,
Yeah,
It is an absolute ridiculous production pipeline, and yet it worked swimmingly.
It worked swimmingly.
Go ahead, please.
I was going to say it works swimmingly, and I think that's the greatest thing about it to me is that it completely reinforces why we didn't release this movie when we should have.
It would have been a disaster.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of disappointment when we canceled it before. Obviously, a lot of people have been waiting years for this thing to happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, the movie that we promised 8 years ago,
man, it was not good,
is one of the worst things our channel has ever done. Like, ever.
It's like, when you look back at old stuff that you made and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cringy. Like, BioCraft would have been that for us.
And the part of that was that we knew it too. Like, we made like a rough cut. We watched it. We reviewed it. We knew it was the worst thing we had ever done, and probably
made the conscious choice to not pursue development anymore.
We stopped working on it because it was so bad.
Yeah,
we didn't know what we were doing. I think it's really important for people to realize that BioCraft was literally the first thing we ever did as a YouTube channel. Before that, we were just a podcast. All we did was sit on our desk and talk through a microphone. And and
play Halo and do machinima and stuff there.
Yeah. So, like, as far as like the TTV channel is concerned, that was the very first thing we did. And during that, we had no idea how to edit, how to voice act, how to make music, how to make a film. No scripting, knowledge whatsoever. Nothing. We were completely inexperienced. We were all like 12 years old. We had no idea what we were doing. The fact that we thought that we could make a full feature-length film and release it within a year is just mind-boggling. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
it was overly ambitious at the time.
Yeah, the product that we made absolutely shows it.
And it's like not even our original pitch for BioCraft as far as a release date was, I think, sometime in November, I want to say.
Well, we had two. So we released the teaser trailer, which is hilarious because if you watch the teaser trailer for the original BioCraft that we did, there's no footage in that trailer. everything in the trailer was something we recorded on the spot specifically for the trailer, because we made that trailer basically the day after we decided, hey, let's make a movie.
Yeah.
So already off to a great start. The ambition at that point was to release the movie in summer. I think let me see when the trailer came out. It was only like a few months.
Summer 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
summer
man.
of 2011.
Within the year.
Yeah, we released the teaser trailer on June 30th. I want to say that BioCraft as a concept was thought up maybe June like 25th. Like
Yeah.
it was probably 5 days before we made that teaser.
Yeah. That seems about accurate. And then we released another trailer in October.
And then we thought we were going to be able to make that and get it out by the summer.
No, I remember BioCraft was thought up like way earlier in the year.
No, it was.
I
Yeah,
can check.
It wasn't. Dude.
It was earlier in the year because
2011 you
I specifically
said?
remember. Yes,
All right.
I specifically remember because I was still in school when BioCraft was started. There was a point where I left for a month to focus on school. I came back after my grades.
Well,
came
which
up.
BioCraft? Because there's been three
The
different BioCrafts over the course of BioCraft's
The
production.
original BioCraft, where you
All
guys
right.
had the poster and then Po2 and Brass or whatever they were on. Their names were on it.
Yeah, no.
It was
Either
very
way.
early 2011.
I'll check. You guys continue your talk.
Well, I mean, the trailer came out in June, so
Mhm.
that would have only been like probably like a month or two after school ended for you. So regardless of when, we up with the teaser before there was any footage to put in the teaser. That was absolutely
That's
true.
definitely.
Wadden asks, what other big issues were there? I think a more accurate question would be what worked fine.
What worked fine.
Generally
which is
speaking, the
smaller list.
camera was horrible quality, but we had some shots that vaguely resembled a machinima.
well, I mean, we also
the island
like,
was good.
not
That's about
only
it.
did we not have the skills to make a movie, we didn't have the equipment to either. We didn't have a dedicated server, so we just hosted it on one of our machines. I
And it
think it
was
was
very
my
laggy.
computer, and because of that, it was really laggy. Because at that time, that was before internet was really good. So like, I think my best upload speed was probably a gig at most. To put that into perspective, so we are dealing with constant lag all the time. No dedicated server, could only barely hold 5 people at most.
Or 5 FPS.
And, well, yeah, and also we didn't have computers that were good either. I was running our server off of a gateway laptop that I got from Best Buy for like $200. You know, like. I could barely play the game, let alone run a server and play the game and record in fraps at the same time. Where we were averaging like 5 FPS for sure on our footage.
Yeah.
It literally,
Frame rate
like
was
it-
so
it-
bad.
It not only was it bad, it was unwatchable.
Yeah. Like there is
Well, I mean,
a
if
rough
you look
cut.
at our footage,
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. That rough cut, I don't even think that's the original.
no, it's not.
It's not. That
No.
the rough cut's our second attempt at making the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a concrete answer. You were both right, kind of. It was in the middle of both of your projections. We came up with the idea for BioCraft in March of 2011.
That's exactly the time frame I was thinking of.
Exactly.
Like
March,
January.
sometime March.
Exactly. 8 years
I
later.
didn't say.
Yeah, I was insane. You're right. Oh my god.
Oh man,
Exactly
that's
8 years later.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was thinking. Like, I'm pretty
That's
sure
awesome.
it was a little earlier because I remember thinking, we put out BioCraft exactly. Anyway,
That's even
Let- let-
worse
let
then,
history
because the
know
trailer
that
had
Bart-
no actual footage from March to June.
that's what
From
I'm
March
saying.
to-
Like, no, we
From
had
March
time.
to June, we did not have any footage. To
Yeah, we had 3 months to make footage and we didn't.
Let
And
the
so-
record show that Var's initial pitch for the title was Bionicle Adventures in Minecraft. Go on.
Wow.
Oh no.
I mean, it wouldn't have been wrong. So yeah, no, the production schedule for this was absolutely bananas because I sat down, I did the script in 5 days, and then after some curation with Var, Messer,
All right, so
Ben,
to clarify, you're talking about the current BioCraft.
current
the one that was
BioCraft.
released.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, old BioCraft. To kind of round that out, nothing worked The project seemed cursed. At one point, we were sitting there going, all right, we're scrapping everything that we had. We're going to completely redo this. We're going to sit down. We're going to take 1 week. If we cannot finish one scene, the opening scene of the movie, the simplest thing to record, in a week's time, we're dropping it. We could not.
And we didn't do it.
We could not.
We couldn't do it.
It's not that we didn't want to. It's we physically were unable to do that scene. We ran into so many problems. And
We
so-
were
Well,
not
I
able
think
to
it's
do it.
also because we kept expecting the world and trying to get Minecraft to do things it couldn't do.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Not only has it been 8 years
Minecraft
for us
had
to
a
get
lot of
skills and
limitations.
equipment, but also 8 years for Minecraft to actually become a game that is functional. Because
a
at that
reliable
time,
medium.
Minecraft had only been out
Exactly.
for about a year.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the greatest strength of this project is working within the Minecraft limitations. That's why it was so successful this time. Elge, you purposefully at the start for this modern BioCraft were like, no fancy, camera mods, no crazy animal mods, just
Oh,
keep
yeah,
it
I know.
simple,
3D animations.
short,
That's
no
the thing.
3D
I remember
animation.
That was the thing with old BioCraft 2 is we tried to put in so many mods and then it just made things worse.
It was very
Yeah.
difficult because we were trying to play multiplayer and a lot of the old mods didn't work for multiplayer. And then every time Minecraft would update, they'd be out of date. And at that time, it was
Right.
very difficult to downgrade Minecraft. You had to have all these different files. It had to be very manual. Now you can just do it with a couple of clicks of a button on the
Oh, that's
menu.
right. Yeah,
So it's a huge hassle.
it made things so much easier now.
Yeah, and just to kind of round out what I was saying, which is why this new BioCraft is so amazing, because not only does it demonstrate everything wrong about what we were doing before, but it also showcases how much we've grown as individuals and as people who can produce content to the point where we have been able to reduce the production time of years to a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's really
And
impressive.
It was slamming because, again, February 12th is when production started. It's when I started the script. Got that done in about 5 days. And then a couple more days to create it with Var and Ven and Meso and everyone else. We did a table read. We saw how it went, cut it down some more. Var made a lot of cuts, which really streamlined it. And then the script was fully finished in about a week's time, barring any minor tweaks here and there that we did later. So after
Dude,
that,
we got all the footage done within a month.
all the footage was basically done within a week. It was about a week's time. So everything took about a week. So the script was about a week. Voice acting was about 8 days. Filming was about a week. And then editing was another week and a half on top of that. So it was...
I feel like editing is probably the biggest hurdle in
Yes.
terms of getting
Yeah.
it finished.
Because we
No
kept on...
surprise.
Even though everything was so streamlined, we still ran into issues at every single turn. There was not...
Editing was the worst.
Editing was horrible because not only did I have to upload all my footage, which took a while to Dropbox.
173 gigs was the total for all the footage.
Yeah, that
'Cause
is
I ended up
hours.
I ended up not syncing the footage because I didn't want to download 173 gigs to help with the audio production. So
Yeah.
I know exactly how many gigs it was.
The only two people that at this moment have all the footage on their computers and can render the movie fully are me and Ven. And even then, we still ran into issue after issue. All of Ven's footage had this really, and I'm amazed we didn't miss one. It is a miracle we did not miss any. It had this issue
Oh, yeah.
where, for a brief second, and I mean literally one split second,
Like a split second.
you would
Yeah.
see a frame from another angle looking at Ven's Minecraft inventory, and nobody could figure out why. We have, to this day, no
Yes, the
idea.
inventory flash.
And it would just be at random points, and you just
It
had to
probably
keep an
still
eye out
happens.
for it. So
Yep, so they had to manually chop those frames out.
yeah, thankfully it's short enough to where that could be done without any noticeable skipping.
Yeah.
But that afflicted all of Ven's footage, which is half of all of the footage, because him and I split recording duties. Then when we got into editing, there was an issue with the Matoro scene. There was an issue with syncing all of our audio properly. there was an issue.
even
the
toward-
audio was
So-
annoying.
A cool like trivia about BioCraft is
There's
that
so
we
much
were
of it.
literally editing the movie till the release. Like we were
Even
up
past
all
it.
night, editing it, still making adjustments constantly, all the way up until the premiere. And even after the premiere, we still had to edit it again and
Haley's song got copyright claimed.
yeah, and redo stuff.
Oh my
Yeah.
So
gosh.
I mean,
Thanks, YouTube.
Well, even the premiere had a version of the movie that was incomplete because the Matoro scene was messed up in the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was supposed to happen in the scene was it was supposed to be very reminiscent of Minogue, where Takua, and if you haven't seen the movie, I obviously recommend it. I'm biased, but in the scene,
You should definitely watch the movie before viewing this portion of the podcast to
Agreed.
get the most out of our conversation.
Absolutely. So Takua sees Matoro's hut, and then it's looking at the hut, and then there's a black screen, da-dun, and then thank you, dog, and then it zooms in a little bit closer, cuts closer, da-dun, black screen, and it cuts closer even more, da-dun, black screen, and it cuts in, and then there's Matoro. The black screens were not showing
They
up
weren't rendered.
in the cut. Yeah, you would hear the sounds where it was supposed to cut, but then you just see a static frame of the prior close-up, and that was it. So
Yep.
the final render fixed that. As VAR was doing the live stream, even then, as he was doing it, Ven was rendering what was supposed to be the final version of the film, and when he uploaded it, and that's why the movie was supposed to come out an hour at least after the live stream premiere was done. But when we checked it, so there are two versions of all of the audio. There is the raw audio for all of our actors, and then there is cleaned audio, which VAR went and cleaned up, made nice, did EQ settings, etc., etc. And for whatever reason, almost the entirety of the third act of the film was just butchered. All of the audio was raw. None of it was cleaned whatsoever.
All of the audio throughout the movie was reverted to the raw.
Oh, throughout
File.
the film.
Yeah,
For
it got
some
reverted.
jeez.
It got reverted to the raw.
The entire
raw,
film, LJ. When I checked
Okay.
it, everything was reverted.
Yep.
And the
'Cause-
reason why I didn't catch it is because some audio is recorded better than others.
Yeah.
So when I would check
Right.
in on the render, I would tune in and go, "Oh, this sounds cool. All right, cool," and then put it down.
Which is
thinking
part of
that
my
it was
job. My job was
okay.
like to master the audio because everybody had different recording
Yeah.
mics, different environments, that kind of thing. And they're supposed to get it to be kind of universal for everybody.
Yeah.
But so there was this issue that happened where so this is another thing that's actually changed since the original BioCraft that has been a freaking lifesaver, because nowadays it's 2019, so we have things called the cloud, which is quite useful because we could just upload footage and then download footage and share stuff and be able to work in tandem with each other across
my
the
God,
country. But like back when we had the original BioCraft, we didn't have that.
You guys used a physical hard drive and shipped it to
And
each other.
shipped it to the editor. We used an actual hard drive and shipped it to our editor.
That was easier to do.
That's BioCraft.
Roll 'em out,
That's
Welcome
what
to
we had to
BioCraft.
do. There was no other way to do. You couldn't email the footage because it was all like gigs worth of stuff.
Yeah,
We're
it's
talking about internet
gigantic.
connections that could only had upload speed of like 1 gig, and we're talking about footage that's 10 gigs per clip.
Yep, totaling out
Yeah,
like
not
200.
email, mail.
Yeah, the United States Postal Service.
that?
We bought a physical hard drive and mailed it. Yeah,
Whatever happened to that hard drive? Did you get it back?
no, that hard drive is lost to the ether, which is part of why the original film never got finished because we don't have the footage.
Yeah. Not that it mattered because it was all butchered. Like the oh gosh, it was oversaturated. All of it.
Yeah, it was
Oh
bad.
my-
So,
So,
color correction.
How much of the rough cut has been preserved?
The,
fans
we
were asking
we literally only have 20 minutes of the rough cut.
Yeah, that is correct.
I mean, only 20 minutes was ever finished. We never finished editing the rest of the movie.
Fair.
So the rough cut only has 20 minutes, and it's of the second attempt at making the movie. So we had one attempt, our very first attempt that we did. It was awful. It was really bad. We had an editor. The editor stole the hard drive. So that was our 2011 attempt. And then we did another attempt in, I think, 2013, 2014, I want to say.
I thought
footage
he
we
was
have
the
of the
editor
channel's
for that,
uploaded in
unless you bought
2012.
2 hard drives.
2012. Okay, so we did another attempt in 2012 then. Because the rough cut is of our second attempt, and the reason I know that is because if you watch the rough cut, you can tell the difference, because there is a couple of clips in the rough cut from the very first attempt, and you can see the difference between the clips that we recorded in 2011 and the clips that we recorded in 2012, because the lighting and the shading changed in Minecraft. The shading
God.
changed in the Minecraft version that we were using. So the clips in Lee Koro from the original film are super, super like desaturated and gray.
Like a Marvel
Meanwhile, the clips in 2012 are much more saturated and colorful.
Dang.
So there were 2 attempts to make the movie then. Anyway, but what I was saying originally though is that now that we have things like Dropbox in the cloud, we can share stuff, but I didn't want to sync any of the footage because, like I said before, 173 gigs. So what I did instead was I synced the project file that we were working on and only the stuff that I was going to be adjusting, which is the audio. So I edited the film using the audio, and that was all good and dandy. But to do that, I had to offline the footage, which I guess when you do that, you can't just easily make it online again. You have to manually go into every single clip.
You sent me back that file. I had to reattach every single piece of footage to the file.
Feels bad.
And to make
Not only that,
yeah.
not only that, I also edited the audio I don't know why you guys did this. I don't know why you did it, but there were several different. There were several different edited versions of the film, and whenever so there was like a BioCraft film 1, film 2, film 3, and film 4, different versions of it from different stages of the editing process.
I don't know why LJ did that either.
No, I can tell you why.
The version that I was supposed to be working on was film 4, but I accidentally did my edits to film 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we then had to import the audio from film 3 into film 4 and then sync everything on top of linking all the footage together.
For some reason, some of the audio didn't catch. And that's why Ven's render had the massive issue.
Dude, okay, so that part made 0 sense. Because when I opened the latest BioCraft edit file that LJ had finished up, it was supposed to have everything. Everything was done. It was fully edited, ready to go, just had to be rendered and uploaded. So I took it upon myself to do that because I figured I could get it done in time. And, well, bear in mind, actually, I was supposed to be the backup plan. But LJ forgot that.
All right, so
anyway.
Here's the reason why there were multiple different versions. And I showed this to you guys when it happened. Every single time I downloaded one of your guys' project files, I couldn't save it with the same name. It wouldn't let me. It said, this is in a specific mode that won't let you save it. You have to rename it. So
I remember that.
So I had to keep renaming the files every time I made
that makes
an
sense, but
adjustment.
then you might as well delete the previous one.
Yeah, like why
Sure.
keep the previous one up?
I mean, yes, I agree now. With the benefit of hindsight. I obviously agree. We shouldn't have kept.
Because when I went in there, I didn't know that there were different versions of the film. So I clicked the one that was linked in Discord, thinking that was the one we were all
The
working
one and
on.
only, yeah.
Yeah, I never would have thought that there were different versions.
It was an honest mistake. Obviously, I said film 4. I know we made it clear.
You did.
I know, but again,
But
there's an honest mistake.
That was literally white noise, though. That doesn't mean anything to me. Like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, and also we're doing film 4. Like,
So yeah.
okay, film 4. I guess that this is our 4th attempt at making BioCrafts. So
Anyway,
I guess
let
this is film
me
4.
talk about my plight with stupid Premiere linking the wrong audio to the final film. So I open up Premiere, and again, this is the final one, the final edit. All I gotta do is render, and for some reason, Premiere opens up this file and links all of the audio to the raw versions of the audio. So it's not the cleaned up, it's nothing. So we rendered it and it ended up being wrong.
Well, you know what was really weird about that, Ben? Is that not only did it link it to the raw audio, but sometimes it wasn't even to the right character. Like, there is a scene in Lee Koro where, like, it's during the Anua-Liwa fight, quote-unquote fight, where Lee was like, oh, hey, Anua. And instead of Anua's line being, what are you doing? Or something like that, it's a clip of Vakama.
What on
And
earth?
not only is it a clip of Vakama, it's a clip of one of his monologues, but it's completely blown out. Like, it's so loud.
It's like
I
one
have
of
much
those.
to teach, and you have much to learn.
It's like one of those
And you
those
have
meme
much to
videos
learn.
where it just blasts the audio out, just blows it out.
But
just totally unintentionally.
Hey, Anua, I can see you've had quite the adventure.
That is exactly what it was like. It was ridiculous.
So yeah, Premiere reacted stupidly to the audio, and even when I tried to swap it out with the correct audio, some of it would be like Var said, it would be attached to a completely different character. Some of it would just skip through the middle of the line. So say Vakama's talking, he's supposed to say, "I can see you've had quite the adventure." It would go, "I can see the adventure."
I can see the adventure.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what? Is the audio messed up? So I would check the audio file by itself outside of Premiere, and it's fine. And so I go to Premiere, I'm like, okay, Premiere's being stupid. I'd try to reload the audio, replace it and everything, delete it and attach it again. It would still do that. So at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. It's all on you, LJ. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't fix it.
And at that point, I make a couple minor adjustments per some notes. I render it out, and that is the version that is up right now publicly.
Unfortunately, LJ also has the slowest internet out of all of us, so
Yeah.
it took you like 5 hours to get the movie up.
And that's no
Which was-
exaggeration. That is almost to the letter how long it takes me to upload BioCraft. 5 hours.
Which sucks. Which is why we were trying to get Vin to render it, because Vin could get it up quicker. And we didn't want to keep people waiting because we had already premiered the film, and we are getting a lot of comments from people who thought, since they didn't show up to the premiere and missed it, they thought that it was just an April Fool's prank. So we were getting really like concerned about people thinking that the film wasn't actually real when it was. So we were trying to get it up as fast as possible.
Yeah.
We were really working against the clock there.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
It was
eventually
so
I was
stressful.
like, all right, let's just put a move along so that people stop calling us losers or whatever.
there was one guy who thought, like, I guess he missed the premiere. He's got like an avatar of a purple Miru. He's like, you guys suck, you're losers. Nothing came of BioCraft, even though we premiered the movie. And then after we put the movie up, like, he never commented.
He says nothing.
Again.
Never commented again.
First of all, you owe us an apology, you fellow. And second of all, the movie was there. Ask literally anyone or look at any of the comments that are saying the movie was good. We liked the movie. I can't believe they did that. Or any of our tweets. It's like, it existed. But yeah.
It's funny because it goes to show you that there are definitely people there who are literally only there just to like diss us.
Yeah.
That guy was waiting for the movie not to come out so that he can make a comment like, "Oh yeah, TTV sucks. They didn't deliver." Second the movie came out, gone, non-existent. Like,
Of course,
come
it's
on,
like,
dude.
It's egg on his face now because guess what? The movie's real. But to be fair, I understand why he was ready for it not to be, because Envy had the genius idea.
Yes.
So we actually weren't originally going to have this as the April Fool's Day joke. There is
Nope,
another
we got
one.
Another thing.
We had two things in production at the same time. There was an April Fool's joke that was being worked on and conceptualized, and there was BioCraft. Envy had the thought, why don't we just make BioCraft April Fool's joke? Because we don't have enough time to fully realize the other concept, and that
It
can
would
be
have been
done
super bootleg.
and that can be done at literally any time. but it will only succeed if it has more time to be done. So we switched it, and it was an absolutely
We did the best
amazing
advertising
idea.
campaign ever for
Yes.
BioCraft.
Yeah.
The greatest. The interviews are so freaking funny.
And I'll be honest, like I really did not think it. Like I knew it was gonna work. I just thought it was gonna be harder. I did not think people were gonna buy that it was a prank so easily.
Oh
Like,
no!
oh
Like,
my
but
gosh.
I was pretty sure everybody'd be like, "Oh, haha, real funny. BioCraft's not gonna come out." But it was very satisfying to see the results like crop up right away. Like, oh yeah, this ain't happening.
The best for the people who figured it out, but they had no way to prove it. So they,
Yeah, I felt so bad for those guys.
All the smart people.
All this,
there's
like
no
there
way
were
to
definitely
know.
a couple of people who knew what was going on, but like everyone ignored them.
Yeah.
I love
actually
most-
did like those comments though, like the
They were
people who
great.
realized it was 4D chess.
What I love most about it is how we constantly like flip flopped between something that was obviously fake, as it was like, or two people it was obviously fake or obviously serious. So we started with an interview, and then we had like the poster which looked real, but then we had another interview which is even more ludicrous, and then we had the trailer which looked real, and then we had the interview 3 which was just a complete botch job, and then we had like
The
then we had the
statement.
movie.
Which,
Yeah, the
okay, come
statement.
on, everyone. How did the statement get more views than the interview prior to it?
Because people are panicked about that wording.
Let's be honest, like they've been primed to expect the worst with these statements.
Yeah, that is
Yep.
fair. There was an
Yeah.
early concept.
You see what you do?
There was an early concept where I was actually not necessarily fired, but suspended from TTV for the little outburst at the end of the third interview. And I really didn't want to do that because it's like that's a little disingenuous, especially given the past.
Email from Kim Thompson.
Yeah, right. we're currently in review, so it's like, let's
BRB got to kill a spider.
do it, kill us,
Kill it.
kill
Go kill
it.
You want
Beelzebub.
disappointment? Well, the movie's
BRB
canceled. Okay, what are you doing? It's canceled.
So
The third interview cracks me up every time I watch it.
I love it. It's really good. Var's delivery on everything is amazing. So
Disappointment in the direction.
and it turns to the camera. But yeah, so all in all, we were having issues up until the very final stage where I hit publish. But it really is a great testament to how far we've come from the past, to where not only were we able to finish it in 47 days, but we were able to finish it at all. And
I know, it's so surreal.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
practically almost everyone had a hand in it too. Like
Yeah.
it's
Dude.
amazing.
But for real though, the
It
April
was a
Fool's joke
true
was too
TV
easy,
channel production.
and it was almost frustrating how easy it was at times. Like when we released that trailer, worried that people were gonna catch on. Like if we release the trailer, it's gonna be too real, and that people would be like,
man,
"Oh."
look at this production quality.
It's-
That's
it's
too much for
definitely
April
happening.
Fools.
But then you had people who watched the trailer and were still completely
I'm
convinced
so
you were
sad
trolling
that
them.
this is the only thing we're gonna be getting. Like, I literally called it the night before. I was like making a joke, like, "Oh, I can't wait for the comments that say that," and then literally that's like one of the first comments. Like,
They
"Oh,
were
so
like,
sad."
making BioCraft a joke is in poor taste after it's been developed.
Right? Yeah. So, and then those comments like kind of got on my
It
nerves. a
still
little bit.
hurts.
It is happening, guys. Just wait.
Yeah, we told you it was
I
happening.
told you, guaranteed.
Literally at no point did we
To be
ever
fair,
lie.
though, I think the reception was better for it because if your hopes are dashed, but then you rise, you're bringing them up further. Then if it was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening, and then it comes out, it's like, hey, it actually happened. No, it's like,
So what
oh,
you're
this
saying
isn't happening.
is
What?
despair is but a stepping stone
Well,
for
here
hope.
we freaking
Yeah, well,
The
and
further you fall, the further you can rise.
that's why I was so gung ho about the
Gamers
idea
rise
too,
up.
because like that premise exactly is why it was such a good idea. Because like not only is it a kind of a funny April Fool's joke, but you also get the satisfaction of actually giving people what they thought they weren't getting.
Yeah.
Versus the complete opposite, which is usually how April Fool's jokes go.
There
Can
was
I-
one guy. Oh, sorry, Takuma, you can go
It's
first.
like, can I go off on one tiny little tangent here? Something that annoys me about YouTube.
Go
So
on.
throughout this whole thing, as I'm sure we all have, been keeping an eye on the comments and just having a blast reading them, right?
Oh, I love the
Yes.
comments so much.
Okay. So, why? Why on earth in the name of anything, everything, ever? When you look at a video, you can sort the comments by like top rated? Top comments
Highest rated and
or
newest.
newest first. But if you go to the channel page and click on the community thing and look at the announcement there, it's top rated or oldest first.
Yeah. It's
Why?
Big yeesh.
Why is it newest first in one place and oldest first in another?
The yeeshening.
Yeah.
No idea, man.
I mean,
YouTube's
just
dumb.
with like just with like a comment feed on that sort of thing, like it will always show you what's new first, anyways. So then you would just do the opposite of what you're already seeing.
What?
I mean, if you look at a feed and the comments are the newest things first, why would you have a sort by new on that? You would have a sort by old instead. I mean,
Except that's
you're
not
already
the
seeing
default behavior.
Perhaps.
It is a
Whatever.
It was-
smidge peculiar.
YouTube's weird. YouTube also decided to completely like copyright claim our video, despite it having out of an hour and 10-minute video, 1 minute of material. They decided to claim the entire.
All
video
the ad
for it,
revenue
so.
is going to go to the songwriters for Move Along for a 1 hour, 10-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems good.
It's irritating.
Oh, so I just wanted to say there was one comment that really cracked me up. It was like, I'm really suspicious about this because you said it's coming out on April 1st. If you said April 2nd, I would believe it. I'm like, what? We could pull a prank saying it's coming out on April 2nd if we really wanted to. That doesn't invalidate
It doesn't
it
change anything.
coming out.
And that was actually a part of the initial plan too. Was like to not post anything at all on April 1st and then release it on April 2nd.
Yeah.
We
What
did plan a
Wladden
substantial
posted-
delay that ended
That's
up
kind of what
accidentally
happened.
happening.
From Voskaon, you know what'd actually be funny? If you guys actually released the film on April 1st. Yeah, funny, right? Please, for the love of God, please!
Honestly, not only were the comments leading up to this fantastic, but everyone has been so nice on the video. Everyone really seems to like it, and I'm so...
The reception has been overwhelmingly
It's
positive.
so amazing. I'm so happy. We
There was an idea that
yes, go ahead.
that I really liked that we ended up not doing was
To bring
posting-
together a group of remarkable people.
It was having like screenshots of the comments in the credits, like of all the people.
yeah.
Oh,
saying,
yeah!
naysayers.
I wish we did that.
We didn't end up doing that. I
We
think
should
we just
make an
forgot about it.
accolades trailer.
It's great.
Like all the other things
top-
do.
top
After something
10
comes
comments
out,
of
they take all the
bio-
reviews and stuff and put it in a new trailer.
Director's commentary.
We're gonna do that.
Haley, you're alive!
Haley, the first sentence all
Haley.
Second sentence.
Haley.
Hey, Lee.
Messo's girlfriend, Haley.
How are you?
All right, she's gone.
Wow.
What did you do to her? Oh.
You could totally put in the director's commentary where in the credits they like posted over the credits like look at all the naysayers.
I never want to touch this. LJ, you can edit.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I still have all the files, so.
Nah,
But
well,
I'm doing good. I enjoy listening to y'all.
Wow, nice.
Nice.
We got
I
a
have-
vocal
Nice.
we got a
I
vocal
have-
fan.
Nothing to say, so like y'all saying
Only
all
because
our
you-
issues back then, and I'm like, yeah.
To be fair,
No,
Haley
it's-
had she was one of the few people involved in the project that were simply voice cast. So
right.
for this project worked very differently than most projects do. So most BioNicle fan projects, and you'll see this even to this day, they will have a concept, they will make a few different concepts for the concept, and then they'll release it publicly and ask for help. And that's fine. You know, that is a way of going about it. What we did, we are in a really, really privileged position where we have
Right,
our
yeah.
generous and patient and kind patrons here who were able to...
Oh, God.
Yes, the patrons.
This
You
wouldn't have
guys
been
are so
possible without them.
awesome.
The patrons made this thing.
It's like, without exaggeration. Absolutely, I will never stop gushing about them. Everyone was so polite, so patient, So helpful.
The only person that wasn't patient was LJ. It was
Okay.
great.
Ouch. Ouch.
No, it was great because you're absolutely right. We were able to make this thing completely internally without, tipping our hand whatsoever at any point until it was in a state of completion.
Yes.
Yup.
And so we were able to keep it completely contained. Everyone was so nice enough to not spill the beans publicly.
Yeah, dude. For all the people listening to this who aren't part of the Patreon, let's give a round of applause to our patrons who are not only a part of the production, but were completely in on the April Fool's joke the entire
100%.
time.
And
I imagine someone somewhere went to their best friend and said, "Don't tell anyone." But
No, what would they say? Oh, BioCraft is happening.
Yeah. So Wadden actually posted in the chat the credits, the puppeteers, and I will actually put this up on the screen. They deserve it. They did an absolutely phenomenal job.
The first one is Tyler Messanak Anderson.
All the
Yeah,
credit.
he's the best patron.
Listen, man, it's great. I'm like patron
puppeteers, not
MVP.
patrons.
What can I say?
So
My favorite puppeteer is Shadow beat LJ at D2
yeah,
on
okay, yeah. So
Shout out.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So some of the people working on the project were just voice cast. The ones that was Haley. She was just a voice actress.
Did an amazing job as Nakama, by the way.
Oh,
Heck yeah, she did.
one of the best.
Yes, Haley.
Easily, I've said it before internally, but I'll say it right here in the podcast. Easily best casted character in the entire thing. I love.
Oh gosh.
High expectations.
Nakama.
Yeah, pretty easy.
There's a couple of
From now
people.
on.
There's a few people who I think were perfect. Nakama's one of them.
Nice.
I'll let
I
you
agree.
continue.
Okay.
Before I
Ryan
start rattling off the rest of them.
And yeah, so the other cast were Lena Valtapaz as Gali, and
It's another one.
I worked with her.
Perfectly casted.
I've worked on her on so many other projects where she's Gali and I'm Liwa. And as soon as we started this, I'm like, there's nobody else I will have. And so she did an excellent job. Orion as Kopaka, I thought that
Amazing.
his voice was perfect. We worked through his lines, and I thought that it worked out really well. And finally,
I don't like to use voice chat. Go.
the one I was most excited for this last one, Meerkat from RSG as Pohatu.
Meerkat.
You're the legend.
Dude, you
the
nailed it.
Second place as far as my favorite voices in the whole thing.
Heck yeah.
Meerkat nailed it. He was the perfect Pohatu.
Did you all get that message? We've been granted up powers.
So, Mir,
Nailed that line.
Mir,
He was so freaking good.
if you're listening, Mir, I want you to understand. Not only did you do an amazing job, but he just said that about you, and I have been trying to be Liwa for years, nearly a decade at this point. So how dare you walk into my house? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
You come to me
you're no
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Thanks, Far. Appreciate it.
you come here on the day of my daughter's wedding. On my BioCraft
Legend.
Taipu seems to be a fan favorite, by the way.
I'm loving that.
More than that,
I
he
thought
seems
that
to
was
be
my
a
worst voice.
He seems to be a family favorite. So a lot of the TTV staff
Family favorite.
have showed the film to their family, and a lot of people's family members
Consistently.
have said Takuma's Taipu is one of their favorite voices in the entire thing.
It just gives me so many warm fuzzies.
It does, doesn't it? But yeah, no, Mir killed it. He knocked it out of the park. I was granted the chance to hang out with him in December. He's such a swell guy. He is immensely talented and skilled. Absolutely wonderful. And he just... Every one of the... We've been hearing this a lot. A lot of people have been saying that every single one of the voice actors did a great job. And they did really well in their role. Obviously, we're all amateurs.
That makes me so happy.
Obviously enough, we're doing this on a very indie scale. But I
But
think
it worked so well.
that's high praise to me. I think that's really great.
We can't talk about voice actors, however, talk about AT as Takua.
Oh,
AT made me
third.
so happy.
Oh,
AT was third on my favorite voice cast list, and
he held
AT
the
nailed
movie
it.
perfectly.
So,
oh my god.
Early
I'm
on,
gonna find this food and save this village.
early on when we were working on who to cast,
Wow, that sounds like a huge chore.
Yeah.
There's
I-
a nog.
I was working on the cast list because I cast everyone. We did have some tryouts, internally, but I cast every single person. And I told AT flat out, we're not doing this movie unless you're Takua. I want you as
Nice.
Takua, and that's final. And he said, all right, I'll make you a deal. I will be Takua in this movie if we play Apex tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Deal. So we played a fudge ton of Apex, and he was Takua, and he just absolutely killed it.
To be fair, I think outside of Taipu, I think most of my roles I only got because I just threw a voice in during our table read.
Well,
That is basically what
For
happened.
roles we didn't have.
that
Nuju
is
worked
true.
out so well, dude.
But they were all good
Nuju was
voices.
so funny. Nuju might have been my friend's favorites.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, ignoring the bias for the character I played, the Taraga have some of my favorite voices out of that whole thing.
Heck yeah.
Keeney is Vakama is next on my list of best casting.
Keeney and
He's
Vakama's
Vakama,
characters.
Ben is Matau.
Yes, Matao.
Cry Daddy lives.
Dude, people
Cry
love
Daddy
that
lives
song.
on.
I think
We need a spin off with Matao as the lead.
there were
That's how
very
versus Cry Daddy.
there were very few voices that I specifically wanted people to do, and the cast changed a little bit depending on what I wanted. So originally, Ven was Tamaru and Purple was Akmu, and I had Purple do her her current Tamaru voice for Akmu, but then I decided later on I had to have
Tomorrow.
I had to have Ven do a particular voice for Akmu, and Purple became Tamaru. And
I love Purple as Tomorrow.
She
I
did a
think that
really
was a
good
really
job.
good change.
Yeah, she did a really good job. And Ven, I think your Akmu voice has to be one of my favorites.
Oh yes. never forget.
No, never forget the scream.
Me.
The scream is my favorite sound in this whole movie.
How did you guys freaking
Like all of
film
Aku.
that scene where Aku gets hit with the disc? That seems like you had to do that multiple times.
I know.
We did
right?
have to do that multiple times.
It was pain. I was there.
Like I
I
watched
made
that,
a
was like,
bunch
oh,
of weird
man.
screams.
So yeah, no, it took a little bit to get right, but when it was gotten right, it was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So all in all, this entire project fell beautifully into place. Everyone excelled in what they did. I think, Messa, what was that one thing you said about if the group just stopped right now? If we never made.
So here's my
another
thing. I'm so proud of BioCraft and the quality and of everything everyone was able to do and the time in which they were able to do it. I firmly believe it is good enough to justify our group's existence. If we died like a week from now and we don't do any more
TTV
videos,
retires.
we can point to BioCraft Chronicles and be like, we did this. And
That's
it's
our
actually
legacy.
good, and we're proud of like every aspect of its quality, and we can just go off peacefully into the world. It is fantastic. The
I'm with
quality and also what we were able to do with our limitations. I'm ridiculously happy with everyone involved.
Yep, same. Now
Coming up,
there is a question.
TTV talks about retirement. Sorry.
What's the question, LJ?
There's a question that's been circulating, more of a request than a question, but a lot of people have been asking, "Hey, you guys going to do BioCraft 2?" And I'm
Stay
not.
tuned next month. It's coming.
Shut up! Shut up!
No, stop.
If we
the-
are,
more.
we'll know about it.
No
April
more.
1st, 2020.
So there are discussions being had, and that's all I'll say. Nothing is concrete.
I mean, that's only natural
Yeah.
to afterwards say, everyone's going to want a second one. Is this even something we think about?
Yeah, so we're talking about
I think
it. There are
it would be fun,
conversations.
but we can't make promises at this juncture.
Yeah,
It certainly wouldn't be another 47-day crunch.
no, probably not.
It's.
Are you
I mean,
sure?
We are. I think we've all grown past the concept of announcing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're beyond that. So even if we decide to do a BioCraft 2, You guys aren't gonna know until it's in a state that we feel confident that it will happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
until it's ready to go.
Save for like Patreons when we say, "Hey, we need more puppeteers again."
Exactly.
Well, the patrons will definitely know.
The
but-
patrons will be the first to know, and so this seems like a really weird thing for me to say of all people, but if you're interested in finding out if BioCraft happens before anyone else and want to be a part of the production of BioCraft 2, head on over
Solo.
to Patreon.
Giant
Assuming it
asterisk.
happens.
Assuming it happens, giant asterisk.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that as a selling point. Our Patreon is specifically for supporting us in our endeavors. So I do not subscribe to our Patreon just to help.
It's part of the $1 tier rewards. May eventually find out about
because
BioCraft.
it may or
early.
may not happen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give you guys a false promise.
Yeah, no. So, again, we're talking about it, but nothing is set in stone. Nothing is concrete. We're still trying to kind of
Come out
observe
here,
all-
say you support us, but don't get your hopes up.
We're still coming down from
Callback.
the first release. I guess
BioCraft Chronicles just came out, guys. Let's take the
I
time.
need
to
a break.
enjoy that. Yeah.
everyone needs a break.
I am taking a break
Yeah, we
from...
get about an 8-year break.
Now,
from
what I
there.
can promise you all is that HeroCraft will be coming on
No.
June 15th,
No, shut up.
2019. It will be me finishing the Hero Factory story in Minecraft. I'm going to juggle all
Okay.
3 cliffhangers at once,
Have fun.
and it's
Fo-
going to be great.
Followed by
No, here-
Mindjago, Masters of
Craft
Crafted-
Jitsu.
Craft Jitsu.
Oh,
Now that one's definitely never gonna happen.
You never know.
Maybe when Ninjago gets canceled.
I'm pretty sure not
When,
even.
when Haley
Ah.
plays Minecraft, then we'll talk.
Accurate. But Mange, Minecraft is her 9th favorite game ever.
Yes. All those caves.
Just after Halo Reach.
I know. I'm like, well, since when do you play? Okay. Anyway.
But yeah.
Played it a few times. They were apparently fun enough for it to be your 9th favorite game ever.
I don't play a lot of games. I
Evidently.
only have like 12 games that I've played, so it's not a hard choice.
Yeah. Whatever, dude.
But Portal 2's on the
Whatever.
list, so
Whatever, dude.
Whatever,
dude.
Whatever, dudette.
Honestly, one of the best parts about all this has been the reception. Everyone has really liked it. Everyone has been leaving such wonderful comments. It's genuinely so fun to read the comments and see what people are saying.
Seriously, I'm like at work and I'm just constantly checking my phone. reading
Oh yeah,
comments.
same.
Same.
Considering this chat's history and the stuff we've had to deal with over the years, you guys actually watching this and loving it is one of the greatest morale boosts that could be imagined.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all of the feedback on it,
Like,
considering how much of a part of our legacy this thing has been.
This
Being
kind of
able to-
reception is probably the only reason we even think about doing a second thing.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Y'all have
It's
no
the only
clue.
reason I live.
There was a call during the premiere where they were all watching just the feed, both the movie, but mainly the feed, to
Yeah.
see instant reactions, and that was the happiest I've ever heard TTV. They were giggling,
We're
they
just-
were screaming
I'm
in
so
joy.
mad I couldn't be there for
It
it.
was absolutely hysterical. And the best part was
The amount of
Mr.
hype
Fair,
was immense.
the Ban Marcuda part.
That was
Dude,
so
yes.
bad.
That was so
my
good.
favorite
It was
part
magical.
of the stream.
That was absolutely magical. Everyone watching. So if you couldn't make it there for the premiere, the people
Spoilers.
during the premiere on the live stream, when the Ban Marcuda segment happened, everybody was spamming Ban Marcuda in the chat. And it was just so awesome.
Yep.
I'm so glad I started that.
It was super meta.
It
I
was so
started that.
good.
What are you talking about?
I
No,
started that. What are you talking about?
I started
I'm
that.
taking-
Spartacus.
I don't care.
I started it. I'll finish it.
I'm Spartacus. Okay.
I was most definitely first comment on that.
No, you were not.
First.
Yes.
You-
Yes.
You came
Yeah.
Who cares?
But no.
But yeah.
And there wasn't
He
like
does,
5
apparently.
or 6. Every single person, it seemed like, did it.
Yeah.
Like almost, it
Every
just a
300
constant
people.
stream. It was really, really cool. So y'all have no clue. It was very, very cool.
It means a lot. It really does.
Yeah. So it was wonderful. Again, genuine, sincere thank you to all the patrons who were involved, and to all the other patrons who may not have actively participated in its creation, but also didn't let anyone know it was happening. Because everyone in the server knew, but not everyone played a role in it. So, even still, thank you. This legitimately could not have been done without your help.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
we will be doing a director's commentary soon.
Yes, we will.
Yes. It was supposed to happen yesterday, but people were asleep.
But yeah, I think that's about
I
it.
could have been called.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you needed the sleep. So,
All right.
Is that everything? Anything else?
That's pretty much all, I think, for today. If you've somehow made it to this part of the podcast and you haven't watched BioCraft Chronicles, watch it. It's great.
Watch it.
Magic asks, will we get bloopers? There aren't, a lot. There's some, but
I will say
Maybe.
I will say possibly, but that's
honestly,
very...
Magic, you have most of the behind the scenes.
I was about to say, you have the bloopers.
You have all of our behind the scenes.
We have some audio outtakes and some botched shots, but they're not really funny necessarily.
So a lot of the bloopers in the vocal recordings are actually really funny. I'd like to do something with those.
Yeah, dude, we had some funny takes.
Yeah, Wadon actually has a really good question that I feel Varn Ven would be able to best answer.
The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the soundtrack is we actually sent it off to our distributor just the other day. So, soundtrack is currently on its way to being distributed. It should be up on all the platforms you'd expect it to be: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, and Amazon in the coming few days. Once it is, we will obviously be making an announcement. One thing to keep in mind, the covers of Hero and Move Along will not be on the soundtrack released in the next few days. Our distributor is currently will be working on getting the license for those. And also, they need a bit more work in terms of completion and getting it to a listenable state, since Hero is only halfway done. What you heard in the credits was all that was finished for it. So, but once those are up, we will be releasing those as singles, and that'll probably be closer to the end of the month, early next month, when those will be available.
Cool.
But the rest of the soundtrack should be out in the next few days.
Fantastic.
All
All right. Well, this was quite the good episode of the TTV podcast. A lot to juggle. You did not lie about the title.
Nope.
Good stuff.
Not clickbait. Not
Nice.
this time.
TTV discusses vague and cryptic BioCraft Chronicles YouTube teaser.
Misleading title.
What if I told you that you could craft
Destiny.
Destiny in a mine of sorts?
Okay.
All right, Mesa, take
not
us out.
done, man.
Tell me when I can play the music.
Hashtag 14
All right.
MCB 2020.
Thank you all very much for listening. Every week we like to do a patron shout out. This week, our patron shout out, I want to do a cop out and say everyone for BioCraft, but in the event of actually giving a name, I'll say Scorpio589, who's ironically playing Minecraft
Yo,
right now.
Scorpio.
Shout out Scorpio.
Oh my
And
gosh.
all
Play
of
that
you.
Minecraft, bro.
And all of you, thank you for your help with BioCraft. Having people who are reliable, who can keep a secret, who can assist with things, who can be a part of our inner workings, and who are willing to put up with a lot of waiting around doing nothing,
Yeah.
meant the difference between success and failure, especially when it comes to those large scenes. Production would have likely taken a lot longer if we'd had to scavenge around, try to get people that we didn't know all that well or could really trust with stuff. So you guys made the difference, and we appreciate it endlessly. But for now, LG, you're good to go. This will be all for TTV 314. We hope you all enjoyed. We will see you all next week for another exciting episode.
Wow, this is
I'm
the
Meso.
pie, isn't it?
On par.
I'm LJ.
I'm Ben. I love pie.
I'm Envy.
I'm Takumanuva.
And I'm Haley.
And we'll see y'all next week. This was the pie episode. Well done, Ben. Well done. Yeah,
Somebody
Very nice.
very nice. Cherry nice.
Apple nice.
Pumpkin nice.
Blueberry nice.
Get out of here.
All right.
3.14 point.
Later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.